Hi, I'm Drew Symons from the Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about insurance, which everybody hates, but nobody hates Nicole Kirchner, also from the Jennifer Gale Real Estate Team. She used to be part of the evil empire of insurance, and she's going to answer some questions today.
Yes, thanks for having me on. Insurance is a topic I cannot seem to escape.
Yeah. So you'll notice today we've got a little bit different setup. We're becoming more sophisticated, and I've heard a lot of words today and stuff like dongles or stuff, and our little Rachel Little is back there as like her dream job producing this huge YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, and she's got a big smile on her face. But yeah, we got like 3 cameras, we got lights, and we've got a guest, and we're going to talk insurance.
Awesome. I think I'm ready for it.
Okay, so with Jen last time we talked about buying, selling, obviously in between purchasing, maybe even before purchasing, going firm on a property, you have to insure the property you're buying. So we're going to try to answer a lot of questions, common questions with different types of houses, different types of things in those houses, and what is, I don't know, what's the word? What are the repercussions of certain things? And hopefully you'll be able to answer our questions.
I will do my best. It's been a minute or two since I've been out of the industry, but it's a lot of this is pretty general and would still be true today.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
You should be.
I think I need a little DC
Yeah.
though.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'm not going to crack mine yet.
Okay.
Okay, so we've bought a house, and let's start from easy to difficult. It's a 5-year-old house. You call your insurance company. Who do you call? Like you were on the broker side.
Yeah.
If you're a first-time home buyer and you have a car, are you suggesting people call their car insurance first? What do you think people should call? Who should they call first?
For sure, absolutely. Call somebody that that you're comfortable with, so you're familiar with, but that are familiar with you. So definitely, first would be your insurance carrier. And for a multitude of reasons, you often get what they call a multi-line discount. So that can save you, 10% on both sides on your
So
auto insurance.
car, auto, like car,
Yeah.
house, anything else, boat, whatever. If you own
a boat before
Okay.
a house.
That's pretty dumb, but whatever. Okay, so like I said, it's a pretty new house. It's got all the good things that insurance companies like. So all the wiring's good, all the plumbing's good. There's no red flags. What does that look like? You're just phoning, you're getting a quote. Do you shop around? Are the quotes going to be grossly different from one company to the next, or are they going to be like pretty consistent?
I would say it could be very different across the board. I would again start with where you have your auto insurance. You're going to need to know information about the house. They're going to ask roughly the square footage and the types of finishes that are in the house. So if you've gone through the process, you're probably going to remember. And I mean, depending on where you are in the process, if you still got, photos or access to the photos and stuff to kind of go back and jog your memory, because sometimes buying a house can be a really exciting process. So sometimes you don't always remember what kind of flooring there was, in the kitchen or in one of the bathrooms. So things like that they would ask about to determine what would be called sort of the insurance replacement cost value of the house, which can be very different than what the real estate value is for a house. And that was a conversation we had a lot of times over the years.
So you and I have had many arguments or discussions about insurance companies and how they work. I'll put you on the spot a little bit as a former. My bone to pick from the agent side is when we sell a house and somebody's asking their insurance company, hey, can you insure this house? Then we get all the questions about the house, which is fine. We'll do it. But to me, if that insurance company wants that policy, why aren't they going to the house and doing that stuff themselves? It's always been a bone to pick of mine, and I've never understood, to verify the accuracy of that,
Yeah.
why aren't they going to do that themselves, and instead of relying on us?
Hearsay, yeah. I don't disagree with you. Back in the day of my dad, Jim, he was going out and, seeing homes and that. Even when I first started, they would go out on occasion. It would depend on the house. Couple of things. So, in a scenario that we were talking about to set it up, where you're in the process of buying a house and you might be in between that time when you've agreed to purchase and it's firmed up and the closing date, and that's when you've got to set up your insurance. The insurance company is not, unless you've written that in as part of your clauses or conditions for them to come out and see the house, they're not going to go out and see it. And you actually can't. I've had arguments with people
Me,
about this.
probably.
Not this one. We've had arguments. It's not on this topic. About insuring something you don't own. So, sometimes we can talk a little bit about that later, because when it comes to things like needing, if there's something that does need work done, when that happens and how that kind of can play out and everything.
Oh,
But
I'll get to that.
oh
Don't
yeah,
worry.
and you're very thorough. So yeah, I don't disagree with you that I wish that they would come out more and gather that information. I don't have an answer to that one. We just rely that, I shouldn't say we, because now I'm on this side of the table. We as realtors have the information and can easily provide that to
Yeah,
clients.
I guess, but we're relying on maybe our own ability to know things.
True, true. It's not that companies don't come out and do inspections. It could be
They
there's
don't. They never have. I've been doing this 19 years. They never have.
not during this process.
Okay. Anyway, we'll move on. They just don't do it anymore. It's always bizarre to me they don't, but they don't. Okay. So, um, what would be an average amount that somebody would pay for insurance on a house for the year? And just give us a general scope of what that covers. What are you laughing at? There's got to be, but there's got to be a ballpark. A ballpark.
Okay.
Low to high. Average house.
Oh god.
What can somebody expect? Because that's what we're teaching. We're teaching on this channel. We teach.
Okay, so I can only go based on the premiums that I would be paying. So because, as I stated, I've been out for 9 years. So what the premiums were 9 years ago versus what they are now, big difference. Now, what I can say is that premiums in a large part are going to be based on the insurance to value, the value. So just like a lot of things, if your house is of a higher value, your premium's probably going to be higher because they're insuring that much more. And if it's, a little bit lower, it's going to be a lower premium, all things being considered. Let's say on average, maybe $800 a year. And again, I don't hold me to that. But
I think I paid $900 for my first house ever, and it was like a little stinker bungalow that was 900 square feet.
yeah. So that there are different packages out there.
Oh my God! Here we go with the packages.
Okay.
We don't need to hear about. We don't need to hear about
We
packages.
don't need to hear about packages.
Just low to high.
Okay.
800 to.
I would say, well, again, it's hard to know. Maybe 12 to 1500. I don't know. That feels high to me. You're asking me to quote on something that.
And that's contents.
Yes.
Burning down, floods, hurricanes.
Okay. Hurricanes.
Like general, like most people are getting covered by what in an insurance policy?
So.
Nothing weird, just generally.
No. Anymore, most insurance policies for homes are what they call comprehensive, which basically means unless your policy says we will not cover X, Y, and Z, it's covered.
It's covered.
Like you're getting the full
Okay.
The full package.
Like if your sewer backs up in your basement, you're getting that covered.
There are certain elements like
There's always certain elements. Always certain
Yeah.
elements. Yeah, well, just in case. I've asked her so many questions through the year, and it's like blah blah blah. But she still has
There's
a
a
little
caveat
bit
to
of
that.
there's still a little bit of insurance in her. We'll move on though.
Yeah.
Generally, like the big stuff is going to be covered.
Yes,
If your house burns down, you're getting covered.
100%.
Okay, so that's easy, right? New house, nothing is going to scare the insurance company. Like they're not really going to ask many questions because they know the wiring's copper, they know the plumbing's most likely plastic, not high tech. Like PEX,
Yeah.
you know, like all the like what I learned minimally is like there's the least chance for a fire in a new house because all the drywalls, everything's like modern, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the dark and scaries. Okay. So we go into a lot of houses. Let's take the most common one. You get into these houses that are built in the 60s, 70s, maybe 80s. They've got a wood stove that hasn't been used in forever. You have buyers and they're like, oh man, that's a wood stove. It's awesome. We can have like fires at Christmas, which is awesome. But you see, like, and I know like it's not up to snuff. It's not wet certified.
Right.
What is wet certified? What does wet stand for? Wood energy. We should know this.
We should know this.
I told you to come early and prepare, but you didn't. Anyway,
we didn't have any discussion about
you came late. So anyway, so let's just say we know just by looking at it, it's not like there's carpet all around it. Like it's not up to snuff.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on in the chimney, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you tell your buyers? Like, do you say, that could be a problem getting insured? They're going to want to know that.
Yeah.
Now I'll ask the question like, and I've had sellers or buyers, I mean, say this, I'll just tell the insurance company that we won't use it. What happens if you do? Like the insurance company is obviously not doing like, not knocking on your door, checking on what you told them about the house. So what are some pitfalls to going against some of the things that you've told the insurance that your house has?
Right.
But you're just rolling with it anyway.
Right.
Just like you're firing up that thing. First night you're there, you're having a big wood fire. There's embers flying all around the carpet. Like what are the, like if it burns down, you're just not going to get insured for it?
That's pretty much
the gist of it. I kind of thought that. I just wondered, your point of view for it.
I mean, insurance companies aren't stupid. And, certainly if there was a house fire, even if it was a partial fire,
they're going to find every way to make it your fault and not insure you. Sorry, was that out loud? That was an inside voice.
Yeah. No, they're going to determine what the cause of what we would call the proximate cause of the loss is. And if it was as a result of them using this wood stove that they said, yeah, we're never going to use it. Well,
so
pay the price.
Rule, don't lie to the insurance company. Ever. Your best bet is to just tell them the way it is. 100%. Okay, so wood stoves, pretty self-explanatory. You go into a house that has fuses. Okay. To my knowledge, they're insurable. Insurance companies don't love them, but they don't absolutely turn their nose to them. Is there any world that an insurance company for fuses would make you change that?
Yes, I would think that most insurance companies would want you to change that.
They're not inherently dangerous, though.
I've had people, even possibly electricians, tell me that
they're more safe.
Yeah,
because they blow. A fuse blows, it blows. You can't like see yanking it back on like a breaker.
Yeah. They generally would, just because in this day and age, with the amount of drawn electricity that we all seem to have, I just don't think that they feel it's a really stable source of
Yeah, like you don't want
electricity.
a buyer to come into an older house with fuses and start saying, we're putting in a hot tub, we're putting in a car charger, we're like living the life, but we're going to leave the panel the way it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so fuses, what are some of the dark and scaries? You've got a old house, maybe it's on Van Ave or Light, Graham, Riddell, something like that. They've got a boiler. Those boiler pipes downstairs might be wrapped in the white looking fabric that we all know would be asbestos. Go.
That is so asbestos is always a tricky one, right? Because we know if you don't disrupt it, it's not overly problematic, but you also really don't want it hanging out in your house either. So, they would probably ask about the asbestos, but I've never, in the years that I did that, which was 17 years, did we ever really come up against it where it was, we're not insuring you?
I actually thought that was, I thought that was actually something that would make you get rid of.
No, it's
Okay.
not to say that they wouldn't make you get rid of it, but there are some things where it's no way, no how, you're not going to keep it. Because if it's not tampered with, it's really not a concern until it starts to be tampered
So if you have a house, you're buying a house and it has asbestos wrapped piping
with.
from a
Yeah.
boiler, generally you can get that insured by most companies.
Probably they may come back and say, we want this gone within a certain time frame, but it's not as, to me, that's not the thing that they would be the hard no.
Okay, you give me the hard no.
Hard no's would be knob and tube wiring, so back to electrical.
Yep.
That is a heck no. I don't know of any companies out there that would probably insure
Even
knob
the
and tube.
farmy ones,
Those
like
would be the only ones. The farm mutuals.
farm
The farm
mutuals,
piece.
very official.
Yeah, they might, but we've even, I should say we. See, this is really hard to get.
Kick it out of your blood.
Oh my gosh. They might take something like that on. So definitely knob and tube is a no-go. Active knob and tube is a no-go. Cast iron or galvanized plumbing, and again, this one's a bit.
You're not supposed to skip ahead. I'm supposed to ask questions.
Well, you said what was the hard nose? These are the
I-
hard nose. We know we often go into houses where the plumbing's been all updated, but the main drain pipe coming in is still cast iron. Typically, I've not seen that to be a problem.
The main drain pipe coming in?
The going out, the waste pipe.
Who cares about that? You're not drinking that.
No, no. But that's not. It's not about that. Let's talk about that. So what's going out? What's the problem with galvanized piping or cast iron?
Like it corrodes from the inside, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
So you don't know when you've got thinning happening until it's too late. So do you want your waste pipe?
Some people like living on the edge.
that is.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Yeah, absolutely. So
okay, let's go back to knob and tube. You said that's a no. Like there's just really. So I have insurance with my company. I want to stick with them. Are they the ones saying, do they give you a timeline to get rid of it? Or they actually will say, no, we're not even doing that?
So this is where my big beef is with insurance companies, is that I don't feel anymore that they don't give enough time, if they give time at all. Sometimes they won't even give you time. They'll just be like, no, it needs to be changed out.
Like, but you own it. You can't change it out before you own it.
Exactly.
And
this is my thing, is that if you're looking to buy this house and it's, you did you do due diligence during the inspection process, you've gotten a quote from an electrician to come in and remove any active knob and tube and replace it and make sure everything's good to go, so that the minute you get the keys, you've got that lined up. Some companies, no matter what, they're like, nope, we won't touch it with it on. Some will give, I think, probably any more. And if you are an insurer out there that gives a longer extension, please let us know. We'd love to know.
Time frame being what? 90?
30 days.
30 days.
30 days. 90 would be like a gift.
So somebody could buy a house and have something that they have to do within 30 days that may cost them $20,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so us as real estate professionals, we should probably say, just so you know, like before we firm up, you should be making some phone calls and figuring this out.
Yeah.
And a budget and maybe even getting a quote and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be careful of that. Like, not everything's a gimme,
Sure.
right? So I think a lot of people assume they just call their, like, okay, this jogs my thought process here. A lot of people will say you'll go into these old homes and they've got, maybe not the triple crown. I always called it the triple crown, like asbestos, knob and tube, and galvanized.
The triple threat.
The triple threat. Yeah. The dark and scaries. Let's say you have a buyer for one of these houses, and I've heard this a lot through the 19 years I've been doing it. Well, who are they using for insurance? Obviously, it's insured for them. Why can't they just like port that policy over to me? It never happens ever. Tell us why that's not a thing.
It isn't a thing.
Because if somebody's got all that stuff insured, they're living there. A lot of people's thought process is, well, that's not fair.
Yes.
I want that same whatever. So tell us why that isn't a thing.
Well, and I think, yeah, it could be that in some cases the insurance company doesn't even know. They've maybe been insuring this house and this family if they've been there for 30 years. When it started out, all of those elements, those dark and scaries, weren't so dark and scary.
Yeah, normal. They were normal.
Yeah. So they don't, they might ask over time. Some companies don't ask, about updates or anything over time that they've had you insured. So if you've never moved with the company, they may not know.
They just renew every year and don't.
Yeah. That could be part of it. There's more to an insurance policy than just, the majority of it is about the house or the property, but it isn't just about that. So it would be great if they have all of these, if they're what we would call on risk for all of those elements that most insurance companies wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. They're already there whether they know it or not, and could potentially be on the hook if something happened. Why can't you just stay? I don't disagree with you. It's just not a thing.
It's not me. I'm just saying, like, people ask about it.
People ask.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with them. I think it would be great. It certainly is. It's kind of like if you're in that situation where you go to your own insurance company that you have your car insurance with or whatever, or if you have home insurance already, that's going to be your first stop. Second stop, if you're kind of running into those, those roadblocks, would be to go to the company that is already insuring it, because hopefully there would be some level of understanding there. Yeah, home insurance can be kind of tough because there aren't as many regulations with it in terms of what they have to take. So we're getting a little bit off topic here, but car insurance, it's a bit more regulated. If you have a license, they have to provide you with insurance. And
like
you
if
can be the worst driver in the world.
A home insurance doesn't like your face, they can say no. Like you're saying, like regulations, like as far as what they can or can't take, they can pretty much arbitrarily say, nah, we still like it. Yeah.
There's a lot of different aspects that go into it. And same thing, if you've had insurance before, just like with car insurance, if you've had insurance in the past and you put in a claim for something and then you end up putting in another claim for something, they might kind of look at this and go, wow, you're really what they would say claims conscience. So maybe this isn't somebody that
insurance lingo
that they, would want to necessarily keep on their books, if that makes sense.
Because you're costing them a lot of money.
That's right. And also, the fun fact that we all appreciate is the fact that when people put in insurance claims, it would be awesome if we all had our own little bank accounts where we would just put our premiums in all the time. And when we needed to withdraw from that, that's where the money came from. And then when that runs out, it runs out. But that's not how it goes. We put all of our money in together into one big bank account so that when people have to use that money, it gets drawn from it. But then also,
Like
too,
drawing blood from a stone.
that's right.
Yeah.
But then that's also what impacts all of our other rates.
Yes.
So we all kind of pay. We all benefit when we need it, and we all pay when we don't.
What about vermiculite?
I personally, in 17 years, never came across that in, again, being an issue where that was a hard no.
Vermiculite has asbestos in it.
Yeah.
Like doesn't always, it can.
Yeah. I think it's the ease of being able to, again, I think what comes down to those things, it's, you can probably easily remove it. It's just the expense of it.
Yeah.
Updating plumbing or wiring, a lot more involved in having to do that.
It could be like punching holes in the wall.
Yeah.
And just, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Or like plaster. That's
Yeah.
another big one too. So, yeah.
Okay. So overall, as a former insurance person, guide us through the easy steps with a buyer as far as insurance. We might have touched on it just piecemeal here, but like, let's round up with, if you're buying a house, do this, this, and this.
Okay. You're buying a house. Obviously, when you're in the process of offering, you could put in that inspection or the condition of insurance.
We used to all the time. We don't anymore. I don't barely ever see it, but that actually used to be the three, like finance, inspection, insurance.
And I think that in a lot of ways, probably the inspection, one, we probably have a good idea going in if we, have visual access to a lot of the elements. We kind of know what's going to fly, what's not. And then the inspection, we feel like a lot of that kind of seems to take care of that insurance aspect. We kind of know. And I know I've been through that myself with clients too. But that would probably be gold standard, would be put in an insurance inspections or condition. So then that way you kind of know for sure with that house, if there's anything that the insurance company, that you're dealing with is going to be problematic, you can try and address it early on in the process. No problems with the insurance or with any elements of the house, and you've got a firm offer, and you're in that time frame between that offer firming up and when you're closing, you would reach out to your insurance company to get that all arranged, because that's going to be a condition of your mortgage. So,
starts the day of you take possession. Your policy.
Absolutely. You can't insure something you don't own, despite what some people might think. You cannot. So it would all take effect that same day, but you would want to, even as early as 30 days ahead, you could reach out to the company, get that ball rolling.
You probably reach out 120 days ahead?
No, because rates change and they won't guarantee the rate. Usually if it's within 30 days, then you have a good idea of what the rate's going to be. Just my 2 cents.
Okay, so I think we've chewed on insurance enough today. It's such a wonderful, exhilarating topic. Like, it's crazy how awesome it is. But yeah, like, I kind of carried you today. I helped you through your first YouTube channel. It won't be your last visit. I went all diva today. I had Nicole and Nate from the team carry up this table. I just basically sat here while Rachel and Nicole scurried to get everything ready. These mics, we're all big time now. We have mics. Rachel's down there laughing because she was in a mini panic because we couldn't get the sound to work, but we got it all figured out. I just sat here and just waited.
We'll get makeup crew in for next time.
So yeah, well, for sure. It'll get better. So what I'm supposed to say now is like and subscribe to the channel, obviously. Comment comment with questions for Nicole about insurance because it's awesome.
So awesome.
Everybody loves insurance.
Yes.
And yeah, we're just going to keep trying to educate people about the most logical real estate stuff. And we're going to do it here, and we're going to keep at her.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm
Thanks
here
for coming.
it. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
Perfect.
All right, cool.